Hello team, welcome to another ATP Geopolitics video with myself, Jonathan MS Pearce. Ukraine War breaking news update for the evening UK time, 23rd of March 2024. I just thought as I'm at my desk doing the frontline update, I should talk to you a little bit about this and then I can do it much more quickly tomorrow morning. But there's some huge explosions taking place over Crimea, occupied Crimea at the moment. The Ukrainians appear to be unleashing a number of predominantly cruise missiles by the looks of it, in a barrage of attacks across Crimea, a number of different places, Sevastopol, Simferopol, Yevpatoria, so on and so forth. Explosions are plentiful. There's lots of video footage of different things blowing up in the distance, people trying to geolocate what's been hit. So yeah, it is all happening there at the moment. Lots of, if I play that, well, I'll get into trouble for playing too much, but lots of big explosions. And there are even talks about possible sinking of ships there. I mean, no reports here says, okay, Crimean bridges closed, possible launches from the Odessa region are reported, missile danger to Crimea reported, official air alarm declared, Russian channels report at least one missile launched towards Crimea, and then it all goes, gathers momentum. Sevastopol, explosions at Chornomorsk, occupied Crimea, explosions near Yevpatoria and Belbek Air Base, so the air base there being one of the targets for sure. Air defense is operating there. At least 9 explosions reported near Sevastopol. Air alarms above Sevastopol can be heard, and air defense is reportedly still operating against aerial targets, and there are explosions on the ground as well. Here's one video showing an explosion in Sevastopol being recorded, and smoke rising near Cape Fiolent and Inkerman. Is that ships that are being hit? Something else is on fire in the center of Sevastopol. Smoke and explosions in Sevastopol. Something's definitely going on there. Yep, that's for sure. Near the airport of Simferopol, strong fire reported. Ambulances and firefighters heading towards the Kazachia Bay. Russian channels report a second wave of attacks is expected, and more happening in Sevastopol. Explosions impacts in Sevastopol with air alarms still sounding, etc., etc., etc. So I don't know what's happening in Crimea, but the amount of explosions is insane, says no reports. And another 2 arrivals in Sevastopol, one on an administration building, and yeah, bomb shelters locked in Sevastopol, and it's not over yet. And that's 2 hours ago, and more missiles are flying over Crimea, according to Russian channels. So it appears to still be ongoing. Interesting sort of comments coming out from various places. So Ukraine's Air Force commander is satisfied with tonight's results, apparently. The sky and sea are the same colour, thanks to the pilots and sailors for successful combat work. Crimea is ours together to victory, from Oleschuk, the Air Force commander. So happy with what has taken place. Now, it appears at least 3 Ukrainian Storm Shadow cruise missiles just slammed into a major Russian Black Sea Fleet communication center. And this could be, I mean, this again, take it with a pinch of salt and all that, but the site is absolutely festooned with SATCOM antennas. Wikimedia lists it as the, quote, information and computing center of the Russian Black Sea Fleet in Sevastopol. So that is located. We'll put this on our map for no particular reason than I like it zooming in on particular places just like this. So this is apparently the computing center. That building that area has been slammed with Storm Shadow missiles, supposedly, and that could cause some real problems for the activities of the Black Sea Fleet. A lot of it still, the Black Sea Fleet is still in the port of Sevastopol, but I don't think it's particularly active. They've tried to get as many ships as possible to Novorossiysk, but even there, they're not bringing them out too much for fear of being hit. So anyway, yeah, all happening there. So if the Ukrainians have hit that, then that could have, as I say, some serious knock-on effects to the functionality of the Black Sea Fleet. But yeah, lots of talk about that target. Then here, Osint Yuri, so the commander of the Air Force, Oleshchuk posted the below message, which I've just read to you. Reference to the sea may hint at the AFU Navy launched Neptune cruise missiles at Sevastopol in addition to the Storm Shadows. Just complete speculation there, though. I would have to admit. Trentelenko adds his tuppence by saying, while any Neptune's fire would most likely be ground launch, I'll note that the Russia-Ukrainian war has lasted long enough for an air-launched version of the Neptune cruise missile. The Neptune cruise missile is thought to be the one that took out the Moskva, the flagship of the Russian Navy, actually, much earlier on in the war. But we heard too much of them because pretty much since then, the Russian fleet sort of pulled away from where Ukraine could send missiles from the coastline. So they started operating much further back and out of range of the Neptune. But nonetheless, so a supposition here that the Ukrainians could have developed a Neptune that could be fired from a Su-24MR, for example. But anyway, that's just speculation. And then here's PS01 talking about how one of these strikes might well have been against a ship. Sevastopol, according to the operator, the AFU also destroyed a Russian ship. Waiting confirmation, says Max23, to which PS01 replies, new submarine. So you don't know. We'll have to wait to see what happens, what has happened as the dust settles tomorrow. But this is some significant strikes taking place, and it's really good news because we haven't seen this for some time in terms of a large cruise missile attack on Crimea. And it's one of those things where, again, we go back to the same problem, which is if Ukraine just had loads of stuff, all we need to do is give them the right things and enough of them. Ukraine will do the rest. So, like, if they're rationing Scalp and Storm Shadow cruise missiles to do these attacks once in a blue moon, imagine if they had 2,000 such missiles. Imagine that we've been building these for Ukraine, like putting orders in a year and a half ago. And these would be coming through from MBDA and they'd be getting these and then add Taurus to the list. And you think, well, the Kerch Bridge would be gone. There would be, you'd think if you had 2,000 of these missiles, then there would be no ship or submarine left in Sevastopol. They'd just all be hammered. You would overwhelm the air defences and have nights like tonight repeated every single night. This war's so easy to win for the Ukrainians. As I've said many, many times, it's conceptually, practically very easy to win. If you take practicalities out of the politics of actually getting the stuff there, like all they need is that stuff: missiles, cruise missiles aplenty, ATACMS to hit air bases within the occupied territories, 300-kilometre ATACMS with cluster munitions. Just a shed load of those. F-16s firing things. Gripens firing other things. Meteors and whatnot. You just need stuff. Give them the equipment. The Ukrainians would just do the rest. Especially the distance equipment. So I'm not so bothered about things like infantry fighting vehicles and tanks and whatnot. Yeah, they are of course important. But for me, you win the war by hammering the Russians behind the lines, just for 6 months of just blitzing them with these munitions, and then you can roll over them once everything else has been devastated behind. Whether that be the Black Sea Fleet or their air force by taking out air bases. You do the suppression of enemy air defense and destruction of enemy air defense activities that you do at the beginning of the war. You're gonna have to do that now, 2 years later. But you're doing it not so much from your own air forces. You're just sending missiles over from HIMARS and from the air force as well, of course. So it's frustrating that you can easily see how it could be done, and it's just not happening because everyone's being a bit slow in giving them the right stuff at the right time and the right amount of stuff. Anyway, stuck record and all that. Hopefully that was of interest. Please like, subscribe and share. Really appreciate all your support. Take care, and we'll see how that turns out tomorrow.